going on, guys? Troll Pal CHH here today. Today I'm super excited about this Blu-ray release that we're talking about. This is actually the STEELBOOK Walmart edition of this. That's right, Walmart. I told you they are the official STEELBOOK company. They're doing STEELBOOks for everything. This is Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story. Now, when I first heard about this, I was naturally really excited. I've talked about documentaries on the channel a number of times in the past. Hell, we've looked at Halloween 25 Years of Terror, His Name Was Jason, you name it. We've covered a lot of them on here. And this was something I was super excited about. The question that I had in mind was something like this going to be as good as some of those documentaries like Never Sleep Again or Crystal Lake Memories? This one comes pretty damn close. The title says it all, Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story. Now, the big question you're probably wondering right now is, should I get this documentary? Is it worth watching? I'm a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I've seen all the movies. I've watched Never Sleep Again. So how much more could I learn? The answer is you can learn a hell of a lot. And guess what? I myself learned a hell of a lot, not only about Robert Englund, but the things he did in his life that were in effect to other actors getting roles in movies, sets that he were on of famous films, so much so that it's not even really worth me telling you to spoil it. Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares was a very eye-opening documentary about Robert Englund, his life, his career, the people he was friends with behind the scenes, the sets of movies he was on, the people he knew, the people he was close with. Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares is certainly a documentary that felt extremely professional and respectfully didn't have any participants that were just fans of Robert to talk about how great he was. Chock full of colleagues and people that he worked with, directors that worked with Robert, of course people like Heather Langenkamp, a lot of makeup effects artists that did makeup work with and for Robert in films. And it was really nice to see a documentary like this portray Robert from that aspect, because we're all big fans of Robert, and to have, say, just movie reviewers or people that would have been in this to kind of just say, oh, he's great, believe me, I would have loved the opportunity, but it was definitely a treat to see a documentary about Robert from the people that truly know him and what he's like behind the scenes. Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares plays out a lot like Crystal Lake Memories, except take Robert's life from A to Z, which isn't Z yet because he's still with us and he's still kicking ass, but it definitely goes to where he's at in his life right now, and covers a lot of the films he did that were lesser known, things that I never even heard of, how he got those roles, why he got those roles, the build-up to everything, the build-up to A Nightmare on Elm Street, and much, much further beyond. If one of your biggest worries about Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares is, I hope it's not too much Nightmare on Elm Street, well, you're going to be very, very happy. As a matter of fact, I feel like only 10 to 15% of this documentary was truly about him working on the Elm Street films. Certainly, he talks about the effects that the films had on his career afterwards, and how he had to embrace the role rather than try to just shy away from it and be almost upset that he was typecasted in a way. But you really get to learn a lot about the man. You won't help yourself but feel just the most utmost respect for Robert even more after this, because all the people around him talk about how nice of a guy he was. He builds up younger actors, gives them tips, pointers, without feeling like he's gonna lose his spot or anything. Robert just seems like one of the good guys. The production quality on this documentary was second to none. Everything looked super, super crisp, and even though this was a Blu-ray, there were times where I thought, was I watching a 4K documentary? The camera work was extremely nice. The audio was really good. One of my biggest gripes was when the Tom Savini documentary that came out, Smoke and Mirrors, they had like a room mic that they were using on Tom. And when he was talking in the documentary, you can kind of hear the ambience of the room kind of swelling. They had everything mic'd up real nice on here, so when Robert's talking to the people that are interviewing him, it looks extremely nice. His backgrounds are nice. Everybody involved sounded great. So that's kind of a weird thing to critique, but I just wanted to say, this is a documentary that's extremely pleasant on the ears and very, very nice visually to look at when the talking heads have nice backgrounds and stuff behind them. And it flowed really, really well. So even though this is about a person's life and career, it truly, truly does feel like something like Crystal Lake Memories or Never Sleep Again. It moves at a fast pace, but at the same time, nothing feels like it's just zoomed through, and everything has its importance. Robert has led an amazing life, and quite frankly, this is going to be a documentary that I'm going to revisit a number of times over the years. I can already tell you there's a lot of rewatch value on this, and quite frankly, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this to go check out some of the films that were mentioned in here, because there's still a lot of films from Robert that I haven't seen. Hell, I really need to check out that show V he was on. He talks so highly about it, and the experience of that was really what he considered to be his biggest life-changing experience, where he really became an international television star. But if you thought a good documentary was all this had to offer, think again. This documentary actually has some special features. You've got horror icons, Nightmare Cafe with Jack Coleman, a conversation with the directors, Robert Englund Chatterbox, a peek behind the curtain dance macabre, and the official trailer. Good news and bad news, some of the special features have a little bit of length to them, and they don't just go by really quick. But the one I was most excited about was certainly the Nightmare Cafe with Jack Coleman. Nightmare Cafe was a very, very, very short-lived show that was going to come on late at night that Wes Craven was producing and Robert Englund was in. But unfortunately, the show lasted a few episodes. So granted, there is not a whole lot of length to what Jack Coleman says in here, and that featurette lasts maybe 5 minutes or so. But it was nice to get a peek behind the curtain, because that's a show that doesn't have really any fan base at all. Quite frankly, because it's impossible to see unless you got like a bootleg or just look up some of the stuff on YouTube. But I do think it's worth it. But all in all, I would say this is definitely a release worth owning, because yes, it's probably going to be available to stream, probably on Screambox, but you never know when it might get pulled, and there may be a transitional phase from, you know, network to network. Maybe that won't happen. It'll probably stay on Screambox, and if it does, awesome. But the special features are well worth it, and this is just a really, really, really nice documentary. And I'm definitely going to rewatch this probably in a month or so. It was just really, really enjoyable. I ate dinner while watching this, and I was in perfect harmony. And if you're a fan of a good comfort documentary, you know exactly how much that's a cherished feeling. So to be honest with you, I'm going to give this documentary a perfect 5 stars. I learned so much. It was vastly entertaining, and it makes me an even bigger Robert Englund fan than before. If you're ready to learn a lot about Robert Englund, that's not just A Nightmare on Elm Street, well, Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares is going to be the documentary for you. If you want to own this, you can go to Walmart right now. Go to a bigger city Walmart, because there's the ones that typically have this, and get this Walmart exclusive Steelbook. On the inside, you're going to get a shot of course, Freddy in there. It's a 1-disc set, and on the back, you're going to get another shot of Robert. Naturally, the thing is decked out with Freddy, but like I said, you're going to learn a lot about Robert Englund that you never heard before. Some stuff is so cool, but I can't spoil it. I really want you to check it out. Anyway, guys, definitely go pick up Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story. Then come back to this video and drop a comment below and tell me what was your favorite thing you learned about Robert. Check it out, guys. Cheers to Robert Englund. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.